Welcome to QAvalidation.com. So in our Java for QA video series, the next topic is OOPS concept. That is one of the what do you call the special feature of Java, that is object-oriented programming. So we'll see what and all the Java features are there, and how this or the object-oriented programming is helping us to make the code more readability, and we'll see what and all the benefits of this Java OOPS concept. Okay, so let's get started. So as you can see, so the object oriented programming, or some says that OOPS, that is object oriented programming system. So it's basically a design or a pattern which provides few concepts that we will see one by one. So which makes your software development more simplified way, and also the maintenance is easy, so that everybody can follow the same set of rules or the guidelines provided by these concepts. Okay, so, s- basically, the OOPS, that is object-oriented programming, have four components, as you can see. So one is the inheritance. So I'll just give a brief about one by one, and then we'll see more details into our coming videos. Okay. So inheritance is nothing but it's inheriting the properties from a parent. Okay. So it's like your father have some capabilities, and as a son or as a daughter, we get a few capabilities from our father and then add our own, which makes us more capability than the parent. Okay, so that is all about your inheritance. And the next one is polymorphism. So polymorphism is one in many forms. Okay, so a single thing can do can perform many stuff actually, that we'll see. So like if I say add, then the add can help you to add 2 plus 2 equal to 4, and it can even add two strings as well. So that we will see how it is happening. Okay, and the next thing is that data abstraction. So data abstraction is basically we focus more into the planning rather than the implementation. So you set few rules, or the what do you call kind of guidelines, and then you have to follow that at the later point of time. That we will see more into that. Okay, and the next one is data encapsulation. So it is more into the security perspective. So it helps you to hide your data, or to determine the scope of your data, how far you can access that data. Is it across the class only, or it is across only your methods, or you can even from different classes can you access that data. That will be decided by the data encapsulation, and we'll see more about the modifiers in the Java encapsulation. Okay, so these are the features that makes your Java is object-oriented programming language. Okay, so we'll move to the next one to see few things about Java OOPS before getting into the actual concepts. Okay, so here you can see the that OOPS concept gives you two new terminologies, that is a class and object. Okay, so what is exactly a class? So it's basically a name which represents an outline or a blueprint of what do you call, of something, or of an entity. Okay, and from where your objects will be created. Okay, so like here the example is a student. Okay, so student is, I mean, you can't determine what is exactly a student. You can just say that a student is just a blueprint. I mean, if I say student, you can't identify which particular student I'm talking about. It's like a generic name I given, that is student. Okay, so object. Now, what is exactly an object? So it's basically actually that object actually which I wanted to identify that from that complete student. So let's say that I want to identify a particular person. That is nothing but an object. So what exactly an object will have? Kind of its state and a behavior. So state is something we call it as in a programming, it's the variables. So if you can see on the right hand side on this picture, you can see class student, it is my class, and then here the states are nothing but the roll number and the name. Now these are the two things which I can identify that particular object actually by using that. When I say student, if there are let's say 10 students are there, and if I say student, then who will be raising the hand? So let's say that. So they all will be looking at themselves like to see whom actually we are calling. But the object, if I say that a particular roll number and a name, then we can identify from that 10 student which one I want to call. Okay, so that is nothing but your state and behavior. Like for a student, what exactly can have a student? We can set a roll number for them, we can display that roll number, or else we can set a name. We can insert a name or add a name for a student, and then we can display that. So these are basically the methods or the behavior. Okay, so that is about your class and object actually. Okay, so as you can see on this below object below picture, you can see the objects. So there are three objects. So when I say okay student, then all three of them will not be identified who is exactly I'm talking to. So but when I say the roll number with 002 and the name is Ram, then that particular object or that particular student will be what you call identified. So that is about your object. Okay, so object in programming, basically we are using that object to manipulate the variables, and we will do certain kind of manipulations by using the methods or the functions. We'll see that how it is happening. Okay, so now here certain terms that is related to oops that we need to know before actually moving into the concept. Okay, so the first thing is that member variables. Now what is exactly a member variable? We have seen before, we have created a class, and then under main method we used to give like int a equal to 2 or int array equal to, then set the array values. So all those things we used to keep there, but the we didn't know that how many have seen what and all the data types, but how many types of variables we have not seen. That we will see more into details. Okay, so let me move to Eclipse and actually show how an variable and class and object looks like. So let me create a package, and I will say that oop concepts. Okay, and then let's add a class. Okay, name it as a student as we have seen, and keep the main method. Okay, so now here I have a class, and here is my main method. Okay, what I'm going to do here, so I'll set certain variables or the state of that student. Okay, what is that? Roll number. Okay, and then string name. Okay, like this. So there are these are my member variables. Okay, now if you see that this one local variables, so it is declared inside a method. Did I declare this one inside a method? No, I have declared this one outside the method and in a class. Okay, so that is nothing but my instance variables. Okay, so inside a class but outside the method. Okay, now let's see another one. So here we have to set in what do you call methods or the behavior, right? So let's say that insert details. Let's say that I will say insert data. Just to say like this, insert data. And here what I will do now, what it will do, I need two things here. Okay, one is my roll number and name. Okay, and then what I can say here, roll number equal to roll. I'll tell you how we can provide the data to them, and name equal to name. Okay, like this I can assign. And then quickly let me create another variable sorry method which will display the details. Okay, so display details. So here I don't want to pass any parameters. So these are basically two parameters, int role and string name. Okay, so passing a parameter to a method, and here insert data is a method actually. Okay, we used to always write inside the main method so far, but these are the user defined methods we can write for our what you call manipulation of the data. So here what I can do, I'll just print these two things. So one is name, and then add and here roll number. Fine. Okay. Hmm. Fine then. Now what we are going to do here, so this is my, so what is this? This is my instance variable. Okay. So this is my instance variable. Okay. And this is my here what it is, role and name are my local variables. Okay, because I have declared that inside this class only, so outside I can't access. So if I go out of this insert data method, there is no scope of role and name, no existence actually, I can say. So role and name are my local variables, roll number and name are my instance variables. Okay, got that difference. Now there is another one that is called as your, so let's say that static school name. Okay, school name equal to, let's give this one as ABC. Okay, ABC school. Fine. So now, sorry, it should be string. Okay, now this is nothing but my class variable. Okay, class variable. Okay, here you can see this is class or static variable. Okay, so now the difference between static, so here this ROLL and NAME small letters are only existing to the, or it's what do you call it, useful when we are inside the insert data method only. Outside there is no existence. Roll number and names are instance variable, and this will be accessed by your object that we are going to create from this student class. We'll see how to create that. Now here comes the static, that is school name. And so when I give a static to any variable, it is common across all the objects. Okay, so I mean, we cannot define for a particular object like, okay, from this student, this particular student is different school name, because student, when I say, the school name is common, right, for everybody. So it should be in static so that it will be same across all the objects that we are going to create. So it won't be, we cannot differentiate by using the object. I'll let you know that how to. Okay, and these are basically this roll number and name I have to use by using the object. Okay, and the school name I can use as it is, or by using the student as a class name. That's why it is called as a class variable. Okay, so let's create an object. How to create an object? First, student s1, give some object name, any name like your variable name only, and you have to use a new keyword. Okay, new keyword. So when you type new control space bar, you will see that some method actually. So student and opening and closing bracket is nothing but a method, because here also we are doing that only, right, opening and closing bracket. But you observe something, this student method is same as your class actually, class name. So we call it as a constructor actually here. So if you see, there is another terminology. So methods, we have seen how to create that. New keyword to create an object. Constructor is same as the your class name. There are again two things, default and parameterized. We will see that. Okay, so here if you see the student, there is no parameter here, so this is nothing but my default constructor. Okay, but where is this definition of this student? There is no definition. If you see anywhere I have mentioned like this, school, like this, nowhere I have, I mean nothing I have written like this. But still, so what happens, every time you create a class, there will be a default constructor created automatically. you see it or don't see it, that doesn't matter. So when you compile this student.java, you will get a student.class file, right? So on your bin folder. So if you go to this test Java project and if you go to student bin folder, there you will see student.class file. If you open that, you will see the student constructor will be created in there. Okay, or else you can even create your own way also. So that will be an empty one. So if you see, it will be an empty like this, it will be there. Okay, so here like this. So here you have to give void because it's not returning anything. Okay, so void school like this. So if you write it or don't write it, default it will be there. Okay, so for timing, let's comment this one because we are not creating manually here. Okay, so here when you, so you now know how to create an object when you print s1 dot when you put, because we have to access the instance variables. I told by using this object I can get the variables. So you can see name, roll number, all these things you can get it. Even you can get it the insert data. So even the methods also. So here you can see, so here it is asking for you roll number and there is a name because we have to give state, right, or the variable name to identify that particular what do you call student actually. So that's what we are going to do here. Now once we did it, what we want to do, so let's say that okay, there is, I mean, I inserted a data, means there is a object created, there is a student already 123 ram. Okay, now the thing what I am going to do with that data, I have to do some manipulation. So let's say that I want to display, I want to know who is that student. So what I can say, I will say that display details like this. Okay, now let's run it. So if you see, it says that name is Ram and roll number is 123. Okay, so that's what it is doing. So here you can see S1 dot insert data, you have to pass the parameters here, two parameters, and then display details will give you the details of roll number and a name with respect to the student S1 actually. Okay, there is again another thing. So let's say that for this particular student, I want to show what is that school name for that. So I don't want to access that one by using S1 because I told the school name cannot be accessed by using the object, but rather than you can directly access that particular variable like that only. So let's say that school name. Okay, so here you can see like this you can access. So let's say that here like this. Okay, or else what here you can do like that way. Okay, now so this is all about your member variables. Okay, and you know how to create even you can create another what do you call another object. There is no limit of creating your objects. Okay, so you can create as many as objects if you want to insert the data. So s2 dot again the same thing, insert data, you can give some value to there and you can access the details. Okay, and your school name will remain as it is because it is static. So the value of that variable remains the same across all your objects actually, or throughout the class the value will remain same only. You cannot change by using your object. So this is most important part of your static variables. Okay, so like that. Now the next thing we will see uh, constructors, right? Because currently we didn't see any constructor. When I'm saying student s1 dot new student, it doesn't do anything, just it creates an object only because this student method is not there. Okay, we will be going to implement that student method. Actually, I have done a mistake here. This should not be void school, this should be void student only. Okay, so let me create a constructor. Now for that, what I'm going to do, I will comment this one. Okay, this part. So I have created one user variable, right? I don't want to do that one. So here also I will comment it because there is no existence of the insert data. So this is throwing me error. What I will do here, note it. So what I will do, student, I'll create one method now. I will implement that method now. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I will even close this one also. So let's say that okay, I'll do one thing. Let's make it up. Sorry for the confusion. I'm just making sure that I will go one by one, stepwise. Okay. So here, what I will do, I'll create a string of school name. Okay. School name equal to, let's give the same value only. I'm not creating a static value. Mark it here. Okay. So here I'll put it this one this way. Okay, just a normal variable I'm creating here. Okay, and I'm assigning the value here. Okay, or else what I can do, even I can just create this variable and let's not assign. So now here it is a instance variable only. It's a normal variable only. Okay, now here what I'm going to do, here I'll assign that value here. School name equal to ABC school. Okay, note the difference. Okay, so before I have created one static variable, now I have created only a normal variable, and in the constructor I assigned some value there. Obviously it will throw me an error because I cannot access this one. I have to access that by using a an object only, because this is now a normal variable only. So let me comment it. Okay, fine. Now what I can do here, let it be like this only. Okay, now see what it is happening here. And here what I'm going to do, this one, because now here school name directly I access it, right? Now what I'm going to do, I have to now access it by using the object, because it is no longer a static object. Okay, so now let's run it and then I will explain how it is happening. So see the same result only, but I have changed a lot, but still it is showing same, because when I say student s1 equal to new student, what it is doing, the control is going to this student, because I have now something implemented, right? Before it was blank, now student. So here what I'm doing, school name, I'm assigning some value here. So as soon as I will create an object, the school name will be automatically populated. Okay, and now the as usual, but the difference is here, before I was accessing only school name because it was static. Now it is no longer a static, so that's why I'm using s1 dot school name. Okay, so like that, the same thing it will be for the student s2 equal to new student, and then you can go ahead with that. I'm just showing this one because just to show you guys that you can have multiple objects there. Okay, so this is all about your constructor. Now this is my default constructor, or what you call no parameterized constructor. So this is my default constructor, sorry. Okay, now the another thing is that is my parameterized constructor. Oops. Okay, okay. Okay, now let's see about the parameterized constructor. Okay, okay. So for parameterized constructor, what I will do here, I have to comment everything. Okay, so let's do one thing. Like, yeah, I have to change a bit. Okay, what I will do, I'll create a new one by, let me copy this one and paste it, because if I override it, then it might be confusing. So I will say that. Student parameterized constructor, fine. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'm changing a bit here. So let's keep this one as static, go back to our before only how we did it, and I will no longer have a, okay, well, I will show you this one, parameterized constructor. Here let me write parameterized. Okay, I don't know, it should be chaired, I think. Okay, yeah. So here parameterizer means I should have some parameters, right? So let's write those things. Int role string name. Okay, make it capital to differentiate this name and this name. Okay, and here this will go off, and then here let me assign it. Okay, because the insert data will no longer valid now, because we don't want that one, because we are going to implement that insert data method inside the constructor, actually parameterized constructor. So here as usual be equal to role, and then name equal to name, simple. Okay, now here display details will remain as it is only, we are not going to change that one. And here what we are going to do here, we have to pass some parameter here. You can see here we created the object and passed that value, right? But here what we are going to do here, we will pass here itself only, instead of creating an object and then access that what you call method actually. So here what I can say like this, I can create my own here, and let me directly delete this one because there is no insert data. Okay, okay. So now here what is that? Okay, everything is done. What else is remaining? Okay, this one. Let's delete this one. I don't need this one also, and then it should not throw me. Yes, so here is one more thing, so I cannot access there. So what I can do, because now it is static, so I can just write it as it is only. Okay, so did it look now simplified way? Why? Because what I've done as compared to my previous one, what I've done, I made it as a, again to static. So there is a insert method, right? I changed that to a constructor, that is a parameterized constructor. And here what I am doing here, instead of student s1 equal to new student only, what I am doing, I am passing two parameters, okay, and directly displaying here. And then you're printing as it is. So let's see if it is printing properly or not. Yes, it is printing. So name is John, roll number and school. So this is all about your parameterized constructor. So depending on your requirement, you can do that. So as soon as I will create an object, this will be automatically executed. You need not to call that one. Make sure that is the difference between normal method and the constructor. So constructor and methods are same only. It will do certain what do you call task actually, that one. But only the difference is that this you cannot call, actually it will be called once you create that object. That is the difference. And here if you can see, it will be void, but here there won't be any return type, even void also won't be there, because the control should identify a normal method, because by seeing I can say class name and method is same, but there has to be some signature difference between your normal method and a constructor. So there the difference is that you won't give there your public void, all those things, just give the name of your class, then it will be identified as a constructor. Fine. So this is all about your parameterized constructor. So if you see here, we come to know what is your member variable, how to declare it, how to create an object of a class, and then what are methods. Some people say it as a functions. And then we have seen how to create a new object, and then constructors, default and parameterized. The last thing is that this keyword. Now, what is exactly this keyword? We didn't use so far, right? Now we will use that here actually. Now, so to go into the this keyword, let me first say the difference here. So here, if you see, here are two different variables that I created, or a temporary variables to just assign to this only. I have given a different name here, but I can even give the same name of this one also. Okay, so I'll show you that how to do that. So let me again don't do anything here, and I'll create a fresh one here to show the difference. So here what I can do, I'll create again like this, and here let's say that I will create the same name. I mean, I'll create a local variable that is same as my instance variable only, so that I need not to what you call remember how many variables are there in mine. So I can just use the same name only. So even though I have written these two, this is not exactly this one. This is different because this is still my local variable. I cannot access this int roll number outside this method, but this int roll number I can use. But So I have told, but how does in a real time scenario I can differentiate between this roll number and this roll number? So to differentiate that, what we have, we can use this keyword. Now this keyword, nothing but it always refers to your class only. So it is basically a class object only, this keyword. So when I say this dot, what it will do here, so you can see it will be this roll number. This is nothing but whose student, this class actually, not this roll number. So if I here do like this and then roll number like this. Okay, so now what exactly this is doing? So this roll number is nothing but this local variable. This dot roll number is nothing but this one. Okay, so here this dot name. So you got the difference, right? Where we are using this. So this basically keyword is used where your local variable name is the same as your instance variable. The rest everything is absolutely same. So let's see if the output is coming or not. You can see the output is coming. So whenever you refer to this class, then that time you can use this. Okay, this nothing but it always refers to your class only. That one. Okay. So that's all about your this keyword. And now we come to know what is your member variables, how to create a class and create an object and then play with your data. Okay, so let's see another class and object example actually. Okay, to make it more understanding. Okay, so let me create a new class here. Okay, so let's give it as a person. Okay, and as usual click on this box and here. Okay, let me not write anything to this main method. We'll directly deal with the class itself. Okay, so a person will have what, so int age. So a person will have a age. Okay, and there is something called as a age limit. Age limit, let's say that age limit is 60. So here what I'm going to say, age limit is kind of a retirement period. So let's say that I'm not specific to any department or country. So let's say that for a person the retirement age limit is let's say 60 age. Okay, and then I'll create one method actually. So let me say void. See, in our previous examples we have mentioned as public, right? Even I cannot mention, I mean if I don't mention also that's absolutely fine, because if you don't mention any public, then it will be a default one. It means that you can access that method within this. We will see more into details about the scope of the methods and variables, okay, later. So now here what I can say, I will say current age. Okay, current age. So here what I will do, I'll pass the parameter as int age. Okay, so here what I will do, I will write the implementation of this. Now here what I will do, this dot age, again the same thing here, because int age, this one is different than this age, so I'm assigning that here. Okay, and I will display here as well. So let's say that I will display here that current age is equal to, so let's say that age. Fine, so it will display, so it will assign and display that as well. I'm not writing another method for that. Okay, now another method, because I have to now, okay, we'll do one thing. We'll return how much age now how many years left now to get the retirement. Okay, so here I'll say int, and then I will say that a number of years left. Okay, so I will say retirement age period. Okay, let's say retirement period left. Yeah, this will make more sense. Okay, here retirement period left. What I will do here, I will return that. So what is that? Let's say age limit, because age limit is my the maximum limit, right? Minus total age that I have. Okay, here. So let's say like this. Fine. So here what I will do, here I will create one object of that. So let's say p1, happened? Huh. Okay, new control person. Okay, here I will say that p1 dot current age. I have to send that, right, to identify. Let's say that I will say 45. Okay, now here what I will do, I'll print that one. Now how much here left? Okay, so what I will do, I will print it like this. Then s1 dot retirement period left. That method I'm calling. Why it is not? Okay, it should be capital, right? Oops, sorry, it should be p1, right? P1 retirement period left, like that. Now you will see something strange here. So I mentioned a return. Till now I didn't use the return keyword yet. Now what is this one? So we used to always use void only, because I'm not returning any value from here. I'm completing this task here itself only. But here if you see, int means this particular method will return an integer value. Actually it will do certain manipulations. At the end it will return me certain value. So if you want to return a string, you can write here string. So this will become your data type. So void is nothing but your data type. It says that it's not returning anything. When I say int, it means that this method is returning an integer type value. Okay, so now let's execute this one. So it's saying that current age is 45 and 15. So here, so for more understanding, let me write it here like this. So retirement is left. Fine. So I mean, the logic you leave it. What I'm going to do here, I just wanted to show you this use of this keyword and also the return with a method, actually, the return type of a method. Okay, so depending on your requirement, you can write void or else return in a what you call a particular data type from there. So this is again another example of your class object, this keyword, and also your by using a keyword actually here. Okay, so that's all I had to show with the introduction of Java. Oops. In our upcoming videos, we will see more into the details of the concepts, that is the inheritance, polymorphism, etc. Okay, so stay tuned with our new video topics and do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.